Build Original Series, in partnership with Builder's First Source. The Risinger Build.
We've got Wayne upstairs here. Hey Wayne, how's it going?
Going great, buddy. How are you today?
Good, good.
Awesome.
This is an ERV from Lifebreath.
Yes, it is.
Wayne, you came down from Ontario, Canada. That's where you're based out of. You've been working with Lifebreath for a long time?
Yeah, just coming up to 30 years. Been in the field for basically all 30.
And you're doing a ton of training on equipment like this.
Ton of training, mostly technical, mostly install training. Doing that all the time.
You like to say that the homeowner is the heart of the home, right?
Correct.
But you guys provide the lungs.
Provide the lungs. Yes, we do.
All right, so let's get into that. This is an ERV, so
Yep.
it's a energy recovery ventilator. Is
Correct.
that correct?
Yep.
And this is exchanging fresh air from the outside with the stale air in the inside. It's really the lungs of the house. It's providing quality indoor air for the entire space.
That's correct.
Now this is a larger home, so there's actually going to be 2 of these in this house?
2 systems. So we have 2 separate air handling systems in this house. So we're going to put an ERV on each one. Gives us better zone control and gives us better control level to level.
Okay, so you're not going to use and rely on one ventilator for both levels of the house,
Correct.
basically. Okay, so that's really cool. So how is this going to get piped into the system overall? I know we've got an attic up here. We see a lot of ductwork around us. They're currently installing the HVAC system in the house right now.
So basically what happens is the HVAC system goes in as usual, as normal. The systems going into this house are called a simplified system. We're just going to take stale air out of the return air, and we're going to take and inject fresh air back into the return air of the system. It then goes through the air handler, gets delivered to the house.
So if any conditioning needs to be done with that air at all, although it's even temperature and humidity, it's going through the air handler and you're utilizing the ducting system and the air handler too to push this throughout the house?
Correct.
Okay, so what about filtration or anything like that? Is there any special considerations when we bring air in from the outside?
So basic ERV, we can do some internal filtration. Actually, I can show it to you.
Okay.
So we have internal filtration here. It's pretty basic. We can upgrade this. I recommend if you're doing in-home filtration, you use a separate system.
Yeah, so we're going to have that on the
efficiency.
air handler anyway,
Correct.
right?
Yes, absolutely.
So you've got a MERV 6 here. You can upgrade this a little bit, I would imagine, maybe to 8 or 13?
We can actually go right to 13.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. So color coding on this is pretty cool. So I'm guessing, not familiar with your particular model, that these are coming and going to the outside because they're blue.
That's correct.
Cold.
And the reds are the
from
inside.
a cold climate, makes
cold
sense,
climate,
right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And then, so you've got 2 fans in this, and the air is actually exchanging through this removable core, right? So
Yeah.
this big box right here is the core where we've got the air going through in multiple directions.
Correct. So if you just look at it from the point of view of you've got multiple plates.
Yeah.
You've got the inside air on one, or the bad air on one side, good air on the other. We're doing a heat transfer across the plate. We're doing a moisture transfer through the plate. If you just picture a Gore-Tex jacket which wicks moisture away from your skin, that's exactly what we're doing in here.
Really? That's interesting. So you're not actually changing or removing humidity. It's equalizing through this core.
Yeah, so nature's always trying to equalize.
Yeah.
So when you have an indoor environment that's cool and dry, an outdoor environment that's hot and humid, the humidity is going to naturally want to migrate to the drier side.
How do you control this then?
So there's a number of different ways we can do it. We can do it without a control.
Okay.
If you have a thermostat or a fancy IAQ, we do have a couple of relays you can access to make it do stuff. You're going to get the maximum amount of control, all of the options with something like this. This is our deluxe control, and it'll give you every feature and function that the unit will give.
Okay. So when it's simplified and it's piped through the air handling system, through the ducted system, is there like a boost function we can access or anything, or is that only if we're going straight to outlets in the space?
You can always use a boost function.
Okay.
It's on here. You can do a wireless or a wired timer in a location if you want, and that will boost it usually from speed 1. These are 5-speed units, so this is going to go from 1 to 5, which is boost.
Okay. Okay. And then with that simplified system, typically what you're recommending, I would imagine, like I have in my own home where we're running these 24/7.
Yeah.
Okay, what
That's
is the
the best.
advantage of that?
That just means, so we're literally in a bag here. We're in a very, very tight house. Gives us, the tighter the house, the better it is for control inside.
Yeah.
Because nothing's coming in. You've got full control. We are injecting fresh air into the building 24/7. We're always getting our fresh air. That is important because it's not coming in anywhere else. When these are set up, we set them up for the occupants and the space, so you're getting exactly the right amount of fresh air that you need in the space.
Okay, so key thing you said there was exactly the right amount of air. Now that interests me because when this is closed up, you've got this nice insulated enclosure here. You've got no drain for humidity, you know, for removing water or anything like that. How do you get the exact right amount of air when I don't see any way to, there's no dampers in here.
So
like there's a fan here, but I can put my hand right in there. There's no damper.
no damper.
Where I'm used to seeing a damper for balancing. How is this getting balanced, leading to that exact right amount of air?
Okay, so this is got ECM motors in it, so highly efficient. We also have auto balance with these. ECM motors are fabulous. First of all, they don't use a lot of energy. Second of all, we can do lots of different control with them.
So you can ramp them up, ramp them down,
ramp them
things
up,
like that.
ramp them down. So what happens with auto balance is now through the control, we are going to set it up for the CFMs for each speed. So
Okay.
speed 1, for example, in a 3-bedroom house, normally we set that up for around 60 CFM. So we're going to dial this in for 60 CFM.
And this particular unit, not that it's important for this video, but this is like a 100 CFM model.
This is
correct?
actually 180 CFM.
180
Yeah.
CFM. Okay.
Yeah.
So that being with the multiple speeds, you're saying 60 on the low end. What's the high end at 100? 180.
180.
There you go.
Yeah.
And so the balancing is done through just pressure differential?
Correct. It's the
Okay.
actual live airflow measurement inside, and then the control tells us what the airflows are. We can just balance them down to each other.
All right. Now I know it's like 9,000 degrees Kelvin in Austin, Texas right now. I guess because of the humidity is super hot for this Minnesotan. But I live where it's a heating season for 7 to 8 months of the year.
Yep.
Okay. And so knowing that, you also understand that it gets very cold at certain points. And the system I have in my own house actually has to be shut down in the wintertime at certain temperatures, right? Do you have to do that with yours, or how do you handle really extreme cold temperatures with an ERV? Because that's one of the reasons why a lot of people might think that an HRV is better in cold climates than an ERV, but that's not necessarily the case.
Okay, so I've been with Lifebreath for 30 years.
Yeah.
For the first 25 of them, I would have never recommended an ERV in your house, ever.
Okay.
Technology has changed. The defrost cycles are much better now. The cores have improved. Now we're getting excellent performance at minus 25.
And that's because you can like divert air through the core different ways based off of temperature?
No, it's actually just based on the core itself and defrost.
Really?
Yeah, our defrost has got great control. When I talk to the other old guys in my company, we're hard pressed now to find a location for an HRV over an ERV.
Interesting.
Yeah, like in your house, for example, you said you've got great improvement with the ERV versus the HRV.
I have.
HRVs, we've struggled with drying the houses out, humidification, all of those things. The ERVs tend to modulate the humidity in the house a lot better than they used to.
Yeah, no, really. It's honest with the HRV in my climate, whether it's been cold or in the humid summers, I haven't seen the spikes or drop in humidity like I did with the HRV. It's evened it out, and it's a lot better that way.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like you guys have really thought of everything. I know they're kind of waiting on this unit to get installed. I want to thank you so much. I have more to go film for this episode.
Okay.
It's been awesome learning about this. Thanks, Wayne.
All right, thanks, guys.